Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we're gonna see about Vantage Teradata Express. So this is a version which you can deploy it on our laptop or a local system, and we can explore how to run a query and how Teradata works and how the metadata, everything is there in it. So let's explore it. This is completely a practical session, and we're gonna explore all the things which we have learned in the past parts. So how we are downloading it, it's Vantage Express download from Google. I'm just googling it, I'm showing you how it is done. Then you go to the site. I already have an account over here. You just need to create an account. I just logged it out. So I'm just showing you how I log in. Just give my credentials over here. Here goes my email and password. So once I log in over here, so I come across multiple softwares. So Vantage Express is one of them, but we have other softwares like tools and utilities, JDBC drivers, Python drivers, all the other steps that's required to log in. We can either search over here and download it. You can search it over here. But the best way to find it is through googling it. Just Vantage Express download, you will find a lot of that information. So this is how I reach to the site. Yep. And you can see this is the Vantage and this is the download options which we can get, and there are different versions. So once I click, you will find the agreement that's been provided by Teradata. I just need to check box it, agree it. So there goes my download. So there goes my download. I just cancel it because I have already downloaded it. It's quite a big sized file, and I'm also showing you like how we have to run this software. So this is a virtual image, so we have to use a VMware software. You can download the VM player. The same link is provided in the same site where Vantage Express is, like how I showed. You can search the VMware workstation. You can go to the download product. You can see it is appearing over here. I took the latest version, so I just downloaded it over here. So it's my operating system is Windows, so I went for Windows. I downloaded the product, and one more software that's required is 7-zip. You can download 7-zip from Google as well. Download the 64-bit Windows, whichever suits for your laptop or your system. The 7-zip is required to extract the files that's been downloaded. So you could see the files I have all you mean like accumulated in a specific folder. So this is the 7-zip file which I downloaded, 1720 version database. After extracting, this is what I get, all the files. This is 1710, sorry, but 1712 after 1720 after extracting, this is the list of files which we get. And this is the virtual image that I am used for running it on VM player. So I'm going to 7-zip. I'm showing you like how I installed it on my system and virtual VMware workstation as well. So I just right click on it, open with VM player, that plays everything. So you could see the VMware workstation player has started. That has started with running the image over here. Yep, there it goes. Now you could see the Linux. So Teradata, this version runs under Linux. So I opted Linux. I just click it. I don't want any advanced options. I'm going for /12 SP3. So here goes. It keeps on processing some of the files, and so we got some time. Like during this time, what we can do is like I'll just learn about like what is virtual machine and physical machine. So virtual machine is something like a software component which lies on top of physical server. So virtual machines cannot exist without physical server. So physical server is like a bare metal server. It's like a single tenant computer server, meaning like it is designed and it is designated to a single user. The resources that's been provided by these physical machines are being used for virtual machines. You can imagine a physical machine as a boat. If consider like there is a cruise that is carrying multiple other cruises, you can imagine like that. The main bigger cruise is a physical machine. All the smaller cruises that this big cruise is carrying out is called as virtual machine. So that's what the exact role of a virtual machine is. So since we got some time, I thought to explain about the physical machine and virtual machine over here. Now we are waiting for some more time for the boot to come up. So in the past in the previous screen we have used the root credentials. Root is the username and root is the password itself. To make it simple, Teradata has given us the default credentials as same as the usernames. That goes with the DBC user as well, which is the main user. So here is the main screen which we got it. So we have like individual applications. So we are opening one of them, just the terminal. So here you can see Pdestate -a. That denotes like whether the database is running or not. So we can see the Pdestate is run or started, and DBState shows like logons are enabled, which means like we are good to log in. So there are multiple states whenever we restart a database. So finally it reaches to one stable state where logons are enabled. Teradata Studio Express is one more application, like I mentioned in the first video, where that's been used in order to interact with the database. So this is Teradata Studio which we got, and we are running it on virtual machine over here. And so before that opens up, I'm thinking to explain about a different way of querying, which is BTEC. BTEC is like we call it as like a CLI method of accessing Teradata and interacting by running some queries. So I entered a command called BTEC over here, which allows me to run some other commands over here, like directly querying. Before that I have to log in, so I'm logging in. I've used localhost on the VM machine because etc/host file got that information. DBC is the username, the password is again DBC as well. So you could see I'm able to log in. I got the database version like 1720, like I mentioned, that what I have tried out. And before the studio pops up, it's taking some time because my laptop is not good with the RAM that required. So I just queried select user, DBC is the username. Now you could see like all the release versions and semantics that's been allowed. You could see the character set is set to ASCII as well. Okay, we could see studio coming up at the back, that's good. You can see like right now I'm trying to query a metadata table, dbc.databasesv. It's a view actually, where database name is equal to DBC. You could see the database name appears fine. This is the same what I have used to log in. I just set some of the parameter as 200. I can set much bigger number so that I can view all the columns that I have queried. So if I query right now if I run the same query again, you could see one more column that comes up. Yep, you could see the creator name. If I increase the set width to a higher number, we'll get all the other columns. I'll show it later, but let's explore Teradata Studio. We got administration, query development and data transfer. So once I click the connection profile, I have Aster, Hadoop and Teradata. So I'm entering into Teradata. Sorry, I just started recording again. Yep, you could see like different software that's been available under Studio, but our aim is to use query development right now. So I'm showing you the properties what I have used. I have entered like new Teradata. Instead I can put a JDBC data source name as TD connection. I just kept the data server name like how I entered in the BTEC as localhost, username as DBC, password as same, I just use the character set UTF, encryption on, T mode as Teradata. Teradata mode is the default. So I pinged it, the test connection is working fine. It means like I'm able to interact with this application to the Teradata software. And you could see the other details. So now I am connected to the system. I'll just give the right click and connect. I could see all the other options, like how I can rename a data source name, refresh it, properties. Properties is what it shows, like what parameters I have used to connect. Yep, now I am connected. So we got SQL editor, SQL result set viewer, and SQL history. So SQL editor is where I run the queries. Result set viewer is where I could see the results. Query history is what shows like what the status of the result. So if you can see the select user in the left side bottom, left last, I could see the query has been executed. The results are seen exactly in the result set viewer, and what query I have triggered is seen in the Teradata query SQL history. So I'm running the same query I have ran in the BTech. You could see like I'm using the same query as well over here. I'm trying to query the same user, DBC, which I tried to log in as. Just running it. Ignore the error symbol that's appearing. You could see all the columns that's been coming up in the result set viewer. So how much space I got, spool space, temp space, which I will explain in the later videos. What's the last alter name as well, etc. And this is the exact output. Like it's much easier to get the output in the studio instead of running and getting the output in BTech. BTech is more for like temporary, not temporary, it's for batch purpose, sorry. Right now I'm trying to create a database. So I'm using a statement of create database. HR is the database name, and I'm assigning some permanent space for it, like 2 MB or something. And also I'm assigning some spool space, like 5 MB or something. I'm keeping very low space because I'm not gonna do some complex operations right now, but in future while explaining different other scenarios, maybe I'll use a bigger space. You can see the SQL history. I have executed all of them. It's completed. Now I'm trying to create a table under it. So in the video like part 2.1 where I have created a employee table under HR database, so I'm trying to do that again. So I'm entering like the syntax for creating the table. HR is the database, employee is the table name. Now employee name, I have assigned one of the columns, I have assigned a varchar limit of 30, so I can enter 30 characters for the employee. And ID is integer, so I can give some employee ID. So I remember like I have used Jack as the insert records over there, so which I am trying now. So I've created the table. Now I'm trying to insert into it. In the left bottom, I could see the status of every statement what I have executed. It's in completed state. Now I'm inserting with Jack value as employee name and 11 as the employee ID. So you could see, you could see the insert statement executed. One row count you could see. Now let's verify if it's inserted or not. Select start from. Now I'll put the same HR.employee. Yep, and employee name is equal to Jack. Now you can see the whole query has been executed. I made certain settings in the SQL in the studio. Okay, now we can see the result set Jack and 11 that's been inserted into the table that we are able to query. So this is how we interacted. Select hasham plus 1. This is like 2 amps are present in the system. Sorry, it's 11. Now I'm trying to query from outside the VM. This is from the local machine from my laptop. I've used the IP address of the VMware. You could get it from ipconfig as well. Sorry, by running ifconfig. Now I'm running from the outside. You saw the properties, DSN properties, like what and all I have used to connect. So I'm running it. what and all data is present in Hashrow. So I'm running this query from SQL Assistant. I thought to show one more query like which I explained in part 2, like how the hash bucket and hash value comes up. So I'm going to my videos where I have explained that specific query. So if you go to data house and if you see the playlist, you can find the one, yep, over here. This is the one, data architecture part 2. So in the description you can find my query over here. Yeah, so these are 2 queries like which I have used. I can run them and I can show you what's the hash value, hash bucket number, and which specific AMP is it falling under. So I'm running the jack value I'm picking up from the table itself, hr.employee. So I'm running it. I kept the option as tab so that it's very easy to go through the history and result set. Okay, so I need to do some settings, but instead I will remove that first query and I will run the whole query. Okay, now you can see jack value, what's the row hash value, hash bucket number, hash amp number, and fallback amp. I'm just copy pasting all of them over here. I'm just showing you like whether if I enter the jack value and check the row hash, whether it will generate the same way. It should generate the same number. Oops, okay, I need to just clear off the top ones because I can run only one query at a time. I just removed it. I'm commenting the second one. Double hyphens is a comment. So if I run it, you could see the same value is being generated, which means like whenever we give the value to the one specific system, based upon its configuration, it will generate the same value, even though that value is coming up in a table, or else you are passing it as a separate value. So this relates to our part 2 video. That's it. I hope like you guys can explore Vantage Express more and get back to me if you have any questions in the comment section. You can explore all the metadata, which I will be covering up in the next episodes as well. The next one I'm trying to aim is like to cover the SQL objects more, so that you will know how to create an object under Teradata database, as well as maybe I'll show some of the important tables under DBC metadata, which can be used to calculate the resource usage. If you are into more database administration, that would be helpful. So let's explore them in the next videos. So stay safe, stay healthy, and have a great day. Thank you.